we go. Ready? Preparing to live stream, setting up your meeting. It's riveting.
Ooh, who's going to open
Zoom.
the show, Stefan? Will you do it?
You
Will
can
you
do it if
lead
you
us
you,
in?
you can do it if you like, Tony. You
Don't
All
haven't
right.
done
ask
it.
me to do
You
it.
you haven't done it in a while, right?
I know, right? All
Have
right.
you?
Just
Yeah. When was the last time we had you
no,
do
because
this?
Liberty is our torchbearer now. So she's like the Columbia Pictures lady, She's like...
She would like that actually.
Mhm.
Low like Lady Liberty, like holding
Yeah,
holding this.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
You
is
go.
too
You go, Tony.
funny.
You do it.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your one-stop candy shop for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica Ciccone. I'm Tony. I'm happy to be here.
Hey
Stefan.
everybody, it's Ben.
Oh, it's Ben.
And hey, everybody, it's Stefan. Welcome to another episode of MLVC. We're live on this lovely Tuesday in February. First, I want to say thank you all for giving us the grace of our reschedule the other day. I was immensely sick with the flu. The flu is apparently going around, and I hope that you're not catching it. But I thought going into the weekend, I thought, oh, I'll be fine. By the time Sunday night comes around on Groundhog Day, I'll be able to podcast. I woke up
No.
Sunday and I was like, no, ma'am, no, thank you, I can't. So we made the difficult decision to reschedule. I believe that was the very first time we've ever
Yeah.
rescheduled a live on the day of the show.
Yep.
So hey, not a bad track record, right? Seven
Nope.
7 years.
Yeah, I know. I know early on we were interviewing a lot of people. They would cancel on us.
Yes, yes.
And we're like, well, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why a lot of our guest interviews are not lives
yeah.
because the guests like to keep us on our toes in terms of rescheduling, which I get. Everyone's got lives and they're busy. They
Hey, Stefan, will you give us a little recap of the last talk that you had on Sunday?
No, that's a special surprise. We're not. We have a very special interview coming up next week. We did the pre-record over the weekend. I shan't be mentioning a word. Just keep
All right.
pay attention to our socials. It's coming. It's a
All
good
right.
one though. It's
Consider
a good.
yourselves teased, okay?
It's a good one. It's a good one. Look. Watch this space. Well, Liberty's not here, so she can't sing. But as we all
And
know.
we won't.
No,
Mm.
not tonight, not tonight. But actually, I was gonna say our usual thing is there's plenty of goings on in the Madonnaverse, but sadly, Madonna is like it's like Madonna desert these days. Like we're barely getting scraps on the floor from her. It's kind of infuriating to be quite honest. I assume she's working. And that's why she's not doing anything. But like, she's not even teasing us. Like, she's going full
Yeah.
Beyonce. Like, it's like full blown like Madonna
Hmm.
MIA. Like, where is she? What's happening?
Well,
But
as long-term Madonna fans, we've been here before, so like you said, we got to feast on scraps in between projects, but I have faith that she's working on something right now. I'm not sure if it's something that's filmed, photographed, recorded. As long as there's media in our future, then hey, take as much time as you need, but not really.
yes, seriously. But so yeah, we'll do a little bit of this week in Chicone. Um, I mean, I guess the most recent thing, which we saw over the weekend, Madonna was spotted finally after like 2 weeks of nothing. She was spotted at a bar in New York City with photographer Mert Atlas and her current boy toy, and someone else. I'm blanking on who. There was a crowded table of people that she was with, but of course, whenever I see her with Mert Atlas, I always assume they're working on something.
Mm.
And Ben, you sort of intimated that you hope that that was like
Well,
possible like album.
I hope, yeah, I hope it's an album photo shoot and a video. Somebody posted a picture. There was a a older woman with them, and I couldn't tell if it was B. Ockerlund or not. I was like, is that B? It had the same eye makeup that she always wears, but I couldn't tell. And I was like, oh, that would be telling if she was there styling something, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if she's there, her husband is not far behind.
Yeah. And that new shorter hair could definitely be like something that they have concocted for whatever they're working on.
I
It looked
like the
nice.
shorter length. It's so she's gotten so I did consult with resident hairstylist Michelangelo and say, "Hey, I love the shorter hair. I'm glad she got rid of the extensions." Michael has said she still has extensions. They're just shorter length extensions. So,
All right.
but I love it.
I like it shorter, yeah.
I thought the look looked good on her. You know, it's a little bit bouncier. I think it adds a little bit of volume to her face and her head, and
Mhm.
it yeah, I liked it. It was but yeah, who knows what she was doing other than making an appearance out at the bar. I mean, maybe they are shooting something. Yeah, like Ben said, I'm hopeful it's album artwork. You know,
I mean, she's been going out a lot, but just because she goes, for example, to Baz Luhrmann's new bar, Monsieur in New York, it doesn't mean they're working together. It just means that she went to,
Right.
and
This,
yeah, but she takes the boyfriend everywhere. He likes to go out.
I mean, he's young. That's what they do. Ooh, that was kind of shady. Sorry. Wait, when does Fashion Week start?
it's been going on. Yeah,
Oh, it's
Yeah,
already happening. I'm so
yeah.
busy with work. I'm like not following the shows. So I
yeah,
Yeah,
was like,
me
oh,
either.
it's in like a week.
yeah, no, it's already been happening. I almost want to say it's almost over or something. I mean, I never got invited
Oh.
to the damn shows when I was in New York City anyway. So,
Oh, but I always follow them on the internet and look at all the clothes just because I want to know what they're doing.
well,
You
I
know.
mean, although Madonna was not part of the Super Bowl over the past weekend, and FYI, go Birds, Philadelphia. So I am not a football fan, but it was impossible to not be caught up in the football mania here in Philadelphia because of the Eagles. Um,
Right.
so it was a lot of fun to be a part of a city winning the Super Bowl over the weekend. We took to the streets of Philadelphia. We left before they started destroying public property.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I
some
was gonna say because I went to an Eagles game years ago with my ex in Philadelphia, and I've never been so afraid of my safety. And the parking lot was even
oh
worse.
yeah, yeah. The tailgating is no joke.
So when I saw you on the streets of Philly, I was like, "Oh my God, I hope he got home before they started setting people on fire,"
I
you know?
did, yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean, we were there for the Rogue fireworks, and you kind of have to like be careful where you're stepping because you might get like pelted in the eye by one. But um, yeah, we were there before they started ripping down the street lamps. Uh, but what I was gonna say is, in terms of Fashion Week, like I've been I wish I could fit into my flare jeans now that Kendrick Lamar has brought flare jeans back. I was like, "Ah,
You and me both. I was so happy to see that. I was like, please bring those back.
I
Please
love
bring them
Yeah.
back.
I had tons of pairs of flares, and I'm like, sadly, these hips cannot fit in those jeans anymore.
They
So
can't lie anymore.
yeah,
Yeah,
seriously,
they
they're
can't let. Yeah, I remember 1994, 1995. I was actively going out to buy flare jeans. I think like Levi's made them. I don't know, but I was like, yeah, I saw that too, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because those weren't boot cut. Those were straight up
no, they're
like
flares. So
flare.
flare.
they're by Celine, and I went on the Celine website the
Oh,
day
I saw
after.
how much they cost.
$1,300. I was like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I'm thinking, oh, I'm like in my head, I'm like $150. I'll buy a pair of jeans, and I'm like $1,300. No, thank you. No, thank you.
yeah.
I don't have that kind of money to spend. I don't even spend that kind of money on Madonna tickets. You
No.
know? But I'm
No.
hopeful that maybe the Kendrick Lamar like resurgence of flares now will like bring it back to fast fashion. And I know we shouldn't support fast fashion because it's terrible for the environment, but like
Oh,
give
it'll trickle down
give
like
give me
Silurian
exactly
all the
give me
way.
a Zara pair in like 2 weeks because you know Zara's cranking them out already. You know
Mhm.
Oh
they're
yeah.
so yeah, I just you know I want to
Yeah,
Yeah.
relax, a
he
relaxed pair.
reinforced for short people, especially when you're going to be on TV, that cut of jean makes you look tall.
I know. Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I can't wear those. They make me look like a giraffe. Like I mean, I will wear them, and I used to wear
Oh, I
them
wore them like
religiously.
crazy. I
But
didn't
like
care.
I don't know. But yeah, it's anyway.
Every year when it's Super Bowl weekend, I feel like grandpa and I'm like, come over here. I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, Madonna performed the Super Bowl, you know?
So that's why I was bringing up the Super Bowl also was for the halftime show because people were like, "What did you think of Kendrick Lamar?" Look, I'm not a rap fan. I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I know some of his stuff, but I'm not a fan. But I gotta respect the production value that he did. I thought it was a really well done show, choreography and like visuals and message wise. I was like, good for you. Good for you taking that stage and putting that message up. Of course, would I prefer, another Madonna round go around for the Super Bowl? Hell yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But she's got more time. She can do that again if she wants to, if they would ever
See,
invite
I
her back.
enjoyed his performance. I like the story that I
Oh no,
have
that's what I mean. I
I
loved that. I'm just not a fan of
yeah.
his music.
Oh, see, I actually enjoy Kendrick.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting writer and like how he uses syntax. Well, anyway, I could get into like a whole discussion about that, but I won't. But I'm
But
a
yeah, it's
fan.
it's interesting to see the difference in styles of Super Bowl halftime shows.
Oh
Going
yeah.
from Madonna, like I was thinking back to when she did it, and I was like, wow, we've come so far
Yeah.
in terms of what the Super Bowl halftime shows are now. Like Madonna, like it was so pop and so like family friendly almost. And now, like, I think just recently in the last couple of years, they've really reinvented and pushed messages with their shows, which has been really great to see. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's what they should do, like that you should use your platform to be authentic to you. Not that Madonna wasn't, because I thought that was so Madonna and so appropriate. It was just like a fun party. But yeah, I thought
I don't
Kendrick's
know.
like between Rihanna and then The Weeknd and now Kendrick Lamar, like those they've done really inventive things with the show. So yeah, it'd be fascinating
Yeah.
to sort of like see what Madonna would do if she was to ever do it again.
What sucks is that, we have to like always think about the reality of where we live now. And I have a feeling next year it's going to be all white, all country, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Or it'll be holograms of dead white
Dead
singers.
white singers. Yeah.
Or I'm not even going to speak that into existence. I'm just going to
No,
stop. I'll
don't
tell
even,
you
don't even.
after. I'll tell you after. Oh my God, I can't
we
believe I had that thought.
we won't put
I'm
it
just
out
going
there. So another Madonna related thing, sort of Madonna
to.
adjacent. Tony, you brought it up. Was Sabrina Carpenter on the cover of
Yeah.
Vogue?
On the cover of Vogue, photos taken by Stephen Meisel and a lot of upset Madonna fans going into the Vogue comment section saying this is 100% a thievery.
Are they really?
Sabrina. Oh yeah, Sabrina's reheating Madonna's nachos. That's
Oh,
yeah, there's
why?
all kinds of stuff, so this is one of the photos that was recreated. I'll let you
Behind
guys.
Tony. So it's one of the photos of what was that Truth or Dare promo, right?
Yeah, it was Truth or Dare for the Advocate. Remember when she
Oh
did that?
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's that slew of photos, and then also, if
The
you
misfit.
remember the promotion for the sex book where she's wearing the bodysuit with the
Yes,
gold
yes.
appliques, that's from the same shoot. So yeah, I mean, she looks just like her, and she's wearing Dolce, and
They really got
but
Stephen Meisel to do that Vogue shoot for her.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
Good for him. I didn't. I
yeah,
mean, I didn't think. I guess. Yeah. I guess he's still doing. He's only doing like fashion
He
stuff.
still shoots for
oh yeah,
Vogue quite
yeah.
a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got to make some money. Money. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, what I love about this is that Sabrina Carpenter knows her roots. She knows where she came from, and she's celebrating the vibe and how Madonna influenced her. And I saw something similar to Addison Rae, showing photos from her new video shoot, and in a video with "Inside of Me" playing in the background, which is it's nice to see the new pop girlies come out and take Madonna's influence the right way.
Well, so Madonna fans trashing Sabrina Carpenter, but Madonna was fine with it because she apparently commented
Oh yeah,
on
she loved
Sabrina's
it.
post saying, "Oh, is this an early Valentine's Day gift for
Yeah,
me?" So
exactly. So
if Madonna's fine
I,
with it, everyone should be okay with it. Like it's
exactly. I
I
Madonna.
think it.
don't.
Madonna always paid homage to people.
Mhm.
Sabrina's paying homage to Madonna. It's fine.
Madonna paid
Why?
homage to everybody, but no one was saying that she was reheating Marlena Dietrich's nachos,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
don't. I
People,
don't
but
understand.
people did say Madonna was trying to be Marilyn Monroe when she
yeah,
was
yeah.
like when she
Right.
cut her hair short and blonde and this that. I
And I
do
still never saw that. You know what I mean? Even
no.
with Material Girl, I see Madonna, I don't see Marilyn,
Well, it's interesting you say that because the other magazine shoot is the Vanity Fair one called The Misfits with the black dress and the blue, and they recreated some of those looks that Steven did as well. And it was about the parallels between her and Marilyn and they recreate several of the Marilyn, the crossed out ones from
Yeah.
was it Bert Stern? Don't quote me on that. And it's interesting to go back, and I ended up reading that whole article earlier this evening in the Internet Archive because I was like, I don't remember this. And just her whole, you're just like, oh my gosh, she was so smart and talking about feminism and all these issues that are still relevant today.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
so, in a way, the homage is very fitting with the political period that we're entering into. So,
Yeah.
I don't quite understand fans wanting to go in and calling it a ripoff when the photographer himself of
Took
the
the
first,
photo. I
Yeah.
I,
know.
Well, and isn't she wearing Jean Paul Gaultier? Like Gaultier
yeah,
styled her, I thought. Like I thought the one outfit on the cover is a Gaultier outfit, right?
Oh, I think it's Dolce and Gabbana, but it's the same
Oh, is
idea.
it? It looked like Gaultier.
Yeah, it's a corset, it's a bustier, it's
Hold on, I'm checking right
yeah,
now because
fact check. I did read.
I mean because we can, but does she let's see if she actually puts the Stephen Meisel for sure. Photographer, yeah, let's see. Fashion. I'm looking. I'm looking. Oh yeah, I don't think it is Gautier. It
it's
looks just like
it's list
Gautier though.
it's
Hmm.
listed. The credits for the designer is listed on her Instagram.
Yeah, that's where I was looking, but oh well. I thought well, it looks like Gautier. So the obviously the intention is to
Yeah.
make the parallel. Like, I don't think she's not trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
No, not at
Like
all.
like she's trying to credit herself and being like, "Look at this wonderful look that I've come up with." Like I think it's obvious that that's what she's doing,
Hmm.
Oh well. I mean, hey. I think it's cute, you know. I don't I like Sabrina. I think she's cute and her music is fun. I don't love her, but because I don't feel like there's much depth to her, but
Hmm.
I mean, she's
Really?
also
See,
she's also been like she's been a Disney star, so like she's a
she has,
child.
but hold up. Like, did you watch her Christmas special?
I
No.
did, and I saw it by accident, and it blew me away. I was like, "Why is this so good? It has no business being this good."
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's her vibe. If you saw her Grammys performance and her Christmas special, it's sort of like this
yeah,
old, like 60s, 70s share show, TV, wink, wink,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, the
funny
gra- the, the
skit.
Grammy number was cute. It was,
Go watch
I
her holiday
Yeah,
special.
I compare her to Christina Aguilera. She's more in that vein than
Oh,
Madonna. You know what I
really?
mean?
I
Yeah.
think she's more Cher because she can act and she's
Hmm.
funny and she can do skits and she doesn't take herself too
But
seriously.
see, when I saw her Grammy performance, all I thought of was Material Girl in Blonde Ambition. With how Madonna and Nicki and Donna were all wearing
Oh,
the robes and the little under the hair dryers, and they're all being kind of
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's
eh.
kind of like that shtick sort of reminded me of that.
So go watch the holiday special on Netflix. And
Yeah.
actually, to promote the Vogue cover, she did a video with Vogue where she plays like we literally watched it earlier and on YouTube, and she plays like five different like Katrina Sharpenter. I mean, just these like stupid. She plays this dumb weather girl in it, and we were laughing out loud because it
Hmm.
was such a sight
Oh,
gag. And
so it's
so
her, it's
she
her, it's Nikki Sue Trott with The Atlanta trot
it's
with
like,
the three
Oh
T's.
yeah, yeah, she
yeah,
does that.
it's
Yeah.
comedy pop. Like because even if you listen to all the music, the lyrics that Amy writes for her, like that whole line about driving to LA to your thighs, like that gets me every time. It's so you have to think of her. I think of her as like comedy pop, and I really appreciate what she does. And it's a lane that nobody else is really doing right now.
Or
Do I
doing
think
Mm.
it
she's
right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, is she like a big singer or like all that? No, but she's doing something that's very of the moment and it works, and she's got the
Hmm.
personality for it. And I could see where it would be something that Madonna would watch and be like, oh yeah, and like totally dig it and kind of think, oh wow,
Yeah.
I should have done some of that when I was 25.
Yeah.
But
And
But I feel like Madonna has always done silly stuff through her entire career. Like think about, so obviously the Material Girl thing and Blunt Ambition, I feel like, but she's also done silly stuff like that Vote commercial where she's putting on that Long Island accent and she's
yeah,
like, oh
but
please
the
share
difference,
votes and
but
stuff
the
like that.
yeah, but Madonna's was always laced with a very pointed social commentary, whereas Sabrina's is not. It is
yeah.
just there for the gag.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
Okay.
she's like the new, yeah, like you say, it's kind of like what Katy Perry wished she had done in the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
Spot on,
wish she
Tony.
could do right
Still
now.
do, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't laugh
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
her jokes anymore.
I mean, I'm
Well,
not saying Madonna's not funny in just like a straight comedy kind of way, but like to incorporate it into the music and like, because even the Material Girl from Blonde Ambition is very much a commentary on like women's roles and that sort of pastiche of like 50s, 60s expectations that in that part of the concert, she then breaks out of it and it ends with Into the
Into the
Groove
groove, yeah.
with nobody. I mean, yeah, it's always that pointed commentary, even the Rock the Vote commercials. Whereas Sabrina, it's just the gag. It's just like
yeah.
the
I
kiki
mean,
of it all.
do we I guess I'm again not bashing Sabrina Carpenter, but like Surface is only going to keep you around for so long. Like I think the thing we
Hmm.
love about Madonna is the fact that it's multi-layered. There's more going on than just a gag. Like fine, Sabrina Carpenter looks great as a Varga girl dancing and singing on stage, but Madonna, like she can do the Varga girl thing, but there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
Well,
she's
we'll see
we'll
where
see. Sure,
Sabrina
of
yeah.
course.
goes.
Of course.
She's
Of
got the
course.
chops if she really wants to do it, if her team lets her. Like
I would
again, I
hope
don't think
I would hope that maybe Sabrina is like that's what she's using to sort of elevate her right now, but then there's plans to sort of evolve and grow.
Yeah, so watch
yeah.
her SNL episode and watch her Christmas special. You'll see. You'll
Oh, the Christmas special was so good. It was like
mm,
a extended version of the best episodes of the Cher show,
mm.
Okay.
where she had all her contemporaries and they did musical numbers and skits, and it was
Were the Muppets on
funny.
it? Were the Muppets on it?
No,
Oh, because the Muppets,
no.
I could just see the Muppets being on
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
See, the Muppets is the wrong tone because the
yeah,
Muppets are often political. People just don't pick up on it. Like it was strictly, I mean, her and Chapel Roan's like drunk
Yeah, that was
sad
really
girl
good.
cover of Last Christmas was fantastic.
oh,
So
okay, all right.
yeah.
I'll check it
But
out
so
if I need a pick me up.
yeah, speaking of gags, didn't Madonna do stand up a couple weeks ago?
uh I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
darken
still
my
have
screen and go away.
I still haven't seen any video of it. If
I
anyone has,
don't I have not, and I
I don't
don't
think
think
they
I
allow. I don't
want
think they
to.
allow that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Amy Schumer did say that she was on, I think, Fallon promoting her new kind of pregnant movie, and she did say that Madonna goes up with a notebook and she tells her jokes and that she is kind of funny. Again, I mean, far be it
Well,
from. I
she's
mean,
funny to the yes people in the room,
well, I was gonna say.
and then she goes out on stage, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah, far be it from me to tell Madonna what she should or shouldn't do, but I'd really
right.
rather prefer that she spends her time working on that music as opposed to working on that stand up. But that's just me.
So, speaking of Amy Schumer, I watched the first 3 minutes of her new movie. Express Yourself album version is in there, and then there's no reason
uh,
to keep watching.
oh
Oh, really? Madonna said it was great.
Um,
Okay.
sure. Well, wait, maybe the new album will have comedy skits as interludes.
Oh, can you imagine spoken word?
Tony.
I can't. Oh God. She's tried a lot of things that I've been on board for, including Madam X, but an interlude with like Phyllis Diller type sketches, I don't
I
know.
mean, Janet did her little sexy interludes on the Janet and Velvet Rope albums.
Right, but
She
what did
So
still
Janet
does
say?
them.
She's
That's
like, my pussy's gonna blow up and, you know. I mean, that's not comedy, that's reality, you know?
well, I'm just saying, it would be different. Like I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Try something
yeah,
new.
yeah, sure.
I'd
Why?
love it. I mean, if Madonna wants to go all the way, she could do like a full-on old school comedy album, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Tony, I swear to God, if you have wished this into existence, this is all your fault. If
I know, right? Oh
Actually,
God.
Madonna covering that old comedy song about the squirrel at church, I would absolutely die to hear that before I'm dead. That
well,
would
but
be
That-
see, there you
so
go. So like, but that's
funny.
the thing. Like, she did the silly song in Drown World Tour. Like she does weird, funny things like that every now and again.
Even the
So
birthday song, you know? I mean,
yeah,
it's like
I mean,
I wish a lot of the people that deride her could see her sense of humor the way that we do, you know, because they only see serious, sexy, and
I
unapologetic, you
yeah, I
know?
mean, like you think about it. Like if you look at her albums every now and again, I mean, she's got like, Hanky Panky. But they don't see it as humorous. They see it as sexual. Where
Provocative.
yeah, but like I mean, I Love New York. I mean, that's very silly and like fluffy. Even though it's
I'm
like
going bananas.
I'm going bananas. Yeah, absolutely. I
Right.
mean,
But she always posits everything as being ironic, which if it is or isn't ironic and the humor doesn't land inside of irony, you kind of thwart yourself there.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I
because
know what you
I
mean.
don't think of I Love New York as funny. I'm just
no,
like,
well,
oh,
yeah,
it's like
I
it's like a little punk rock love song. I would love to hear I Love New York on her True Blue ukulele from Rebel Heart. Like I want to hear that version of I Love New
that would
York
be fun.
played on the
Yeah.
little
Like who was
ukulele.
that old singer that used to sing with a ukulele and
Oh, Tiny Tim, yeah.
yes, Tiny
Tiny
Tim. Yeah,
Tim.
I mean, that's what I thought of when I saw Tears of a Clown. I was like, "Oh, we're doing this now. All right."
yeah,
And
yeah.
she would have been influenced by him because he was on TV a lot when she was a teenager.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm. Or
And
she could
man, Tears of
finally
a Clown, that was not
I mean,
funny.
she could
That
finally
was,
do that duet with Weird Al, like he could accompany her on the accordion version of I Love New York,
oh my
I
God, that
mean,
would be
that would
so
be great.
funny.
well, so originally we were supposed to have this chat on Groundhog Day, and because of the famous Bill Murray movie of the same title, Groundhog Day, where he gets stuck in a loop over and over and over again, experiencing Groundhog Day ad nauseum, we thought, wouldn't it be fun if we were caught in a Groundhog Day loop? What Madonna era would we want to be caught in a Groundhog Day loop on? That was our impetus to have a Groundhog Day episode. And so tonight we are here to discuss what era. If you could go and relive or had to be stuck in an era of Madonna's, what era would you be caught in? Ben, Ben and Tony, have you come up with your ideas?
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
That was very easy for me. I have very fond memories and just a really good feeling about when Like a Prayer came out because it was when I was ready for that type of Madonna's work. I was ready to accept it and process it and grow with it, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
Um, Suddenly I was like, oh, Madonna's a grown up now, and I'm learning about sex. I'm learning about, you know, sexuality. I'm learning about the world. And Like a Prayer was kind of like the template, for everything that would come after that for Madonna. We just didn't know it at the time. And with that, the thing that I loved the most was like that sense of discovery with seeing the videos as they came out and seeing the world just freak out along with me. Um, Seeing the VMA performance of Express Yourself, and then going
Hmm.
into Cherish, and just like the excitement of like what will she do next? Because we really, I mean, you can't take Like a Prayer, Express Yourself, and Cherish, and it could be three different artists, you know,
Yeah.
with the way that it was, produced and styled and, just put out. And then the biggest payoff to Like a Prayer was the Blonde Ambition tour and Vogue, and yeah, that's a time that, and me going to the concert and just like being a part of all that. It just like sometimes I still think about it when I hear Like a Prayer at CVS,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, remember what it was like to hear that song for the first time, and I can remember where I was for all those things. Like the first time I heard Cherish, I was at Contempo Casuals visiting my friend Denise who worked there, and that song came on, and all the girls behind the counter were singing it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And they're like, it's the new Madonna song. And like we don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Like a Prayer all the way. The Empire era, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, Ben, you're up.
So I really struggled with this one. I thought it was going to be easy, and uh, and so I waffled partly because I just love Ray of Light. Like when that album came out, I had been doing
Oh,
yoga for a few
yeah.
years after a severe biking accident, and I had to take up yoga to even get better. And then I just 1990 and Blonde Ambition and Truth or Dare, all of that was just so revelatory for those of us who were like older teenagers and young adults at the time. Like you
Mm-hmm.
just can't communicate. The words often fail me, like what that meant. But I had to settle on 91 into all of 92 and 93 with erotica. Like there was just no way I couldn't. And and what made the final decision is because of the political moment that we are about to enter into, like it feels very familiar to what
Yeah.
life was like for those of us who were 18, 19, 20, 21 at that time period. Reagan was gone, but we had just gone through Bush and the world. I mean, when the Berlin Wall came down and the Soviet Union had collapsed and we'd had Desert Storm, and it there was just so much global uncertainty and it was so crazy. And but as Tony mentioned, Madonna had just had this her first empirical period, right? And now we think of erotica as sort of coming out of that, but really it was her most mature work to date. It was
Mm-hmm.
all these deep themes that were speaking to like what it was like to even try to like have like a personal life at that time. And it was being sold with the sex spoken like that, but the album was like a totally different vibe. And I think I just remember feeling so much possibility in that era, along with the fear, because, Clinton was getting elected and we were having all this change. But then there was like now the forces that started pushing back on that change have now ascended to the top and are, basically trying to scrub our entire existence of any word that mentions us or anybody who's not like a straight white guy. And so I think a lot about like that feeling that you had of like, okay, we can come out of the other side of this, and like a lot of people dying and art being willing to make a statement about it.
Mm.
And so yeah, I had to pick erotica just because I feel like it was it was like the album for that moment and we didn't know it at that moment. Like it's
Yeah.
something I can feel deeply 30 some years later, but I probably didn't see it until 5 or 6 years later. I mean, don't get me wrong, people in the chat, I love this album from Drop, but like I didn't appreciate it until maybe like a half decade later. So, and what it represented, because God, you think about how different it was from 1992 to like 97, right before Ray of Light, just how much the world had changed and advanced. I mean, the internet and
Yeah.
just all of it. Just, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and just the coming back, all of it's the pendulum swinging back, and
Yeah.
just trying to think about how we're going to deal with that and what can art do for us in those moments. And I think
Mm.
that record and her whole vibe and attitude at the time, like I went back and watched a lot of the interviews, so articulate, so thoughtful about being a woman of
Mhm.
power in that, and talking about, bringing queer people into it, and talking about our very existence. Like, people don't remember you couldn't even
Yeah.
talk about that kind of stuff then. Like, I mean, everybody at work, just by virtue now of just the world we live in, knows the entirety of my existence for the most part. And like, that was not the case
Mm-mm.
when erotica came out. Like,
Yeah.
you kept your mouth shut or you would have lost your job. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I hope the kids appreciate and understand that and realize how important she was to people being able to talk about those things
Yeah.
in a certain way, because a lot of people would not. A lot of people would not. So
Yeah. When erotica
anyway,
came out, we still didn't have life-saving drugs for HIV AIDS. We still had to
exactly.
wait. In 1992, when erotica came out, I remember I still had to wait 2 weeks to get an AIDS test result,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and there was a lot of fear mongering. So yeah, Ben, you're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, God, I'd forgotten about how long you had to wait for your regular HIV test back in
Yeah,
those
that
days.
that
Oh
that
my
messes with your
God.
head.
Well, and especially if you were poor like I was at the time, and you had
Mm.
to go to the public health department where they would ask you a bunch of questions and ask you to give names, like,
Yeah.
why are you here? And like expect you to give names so they could contact those people. And I'm sitting there like making up fake names because I'm not doing that to anybody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially because I don't want his wife to come and try to kill me.
Right.
So,
Right. Or me,
you know,
we're in college and I'm like, oh my God, I hope nobody sees me coming out of it's
Yeah.
yeah. So,
yeah.
kids, enjoy your freedom on
Yeah, but just
TikTok.
erotica like took off shame, right? In a way that she had always been considered shameless, but there was a type of shame that erotica as an album and era shook off that was very important as an artistic statement. And I'm not even talking about the sex book. I'm talking about the way that the album approaches and talks about, really. I mean, God, you listen to some of the lyrics on there, like some super smart writing.
Mm.
Absolutely. So
So
anyway,
Ben, you raised a good question for me, because I think for me, I was looking at it through the lens of the, like, if I was going to be stuck in an era that I had to repeat over and over and over again, what songs would I want to repeat? What videos would I want to repeat? Is there a tour that I'd want to repeat? And so I was, I mean, I adore erotica, but like, if I think of it in terms of my experience, I scalped fake tickets to Girly Show. So I didn't get to see that show, and I would not want to relive that experience over and over and over again.
that's fair. That's
And
fair.
I also, when erotica first came out, and then the sex book, that was a little shocking to me because I didn't know what she was doing, and I was a little taken aback by it. And so for me, there was like a, not a fear, but like I felt like the pretty Vogue Madonna has left us, and now she's like turning into some darkness. And I was like, it did. I love it now, but I didn't appreciate it when it was happening. So I think for that, that's why I didn't choose erotica. And as much as I worship at the altar of Bedtime Story, we didn't get a tour for that. So I'm not picking Bedtime Story, even though I love the styling and the promo that she did for all of that, and the like magazines and interviews, but we didn't get a tour. So I wouldn't want to stay there. Same thing with Ray of Light. As much as I absolutely loved Ray of Light and got to experience her in person at Roxy nightclub and touch her hand and look in her eyes and like freak out hearing those songs, those three songs that she did for the first time in person and not knowing what Ray of Light was. And that was amazing. But
Yeah.
again, we didn't get a full tour from Ray of Light. So I was like, oh, I don't think I can stay here either. Which is why I landed on, which is my background, Confessions on a Dance Floor. I think obviously a lot of people would automatically assume Confessions on a Dance Floor would be, I mean, it's such a fan favorite era, but those were the parameters that I held it up with. And I think the kicker for me was, and I've told this story on the podcast probably a million times. When I heard Get Together for the very first time, it was, I think somebody had sent me a link to the Japanese link or whatever, and I had already pre-purchased the album, so I didn't feel guilty listening to the leak. When I heard the beginning synths warbling in of Get Together, I turned to my coworker in a fit of euphoria and said, "This is the music I've been waiting for her to do my entire life." And I was obsessed and still am with Get Together. I always say, like, you know how they have that like Desert Island Discs program where it's like, if you're going to be stuck on an island, what would you want to be stuck with? Get Together would have to be one of those songs, just because it's like
Hmm.
it's probably one of my top five Madonna songs, just because I feel like she was so in her early career, you'd have those catchy, like upbeat into the grooves, like the dance numbers, music. But I feel like Get Together is one of her most recent iconic
Hmm.
dance songs like that. Um, although I will say, other than not music, Hung Up and Sorry, the music videos for the Confessions on a Dance Floor era are sorely lacking when you look at some of her other eras, like when you look at Like a Prayer or Erotica or Bedtime Story or Ray of Light. Like the heavy hitting videos that you get for those eras are amazing. We didn't quite get that with, because Jump is kind of like a phoned in on tour video. Um,
Hmm.
and Get Together, I still feel like that got short sighted because it was just a little animated video from some of the promo footage that she was doing. But I forgive her for the music videos from Confessions on a Dance Floor era simply because, one, she gave us so much promo tour. Like, it was so much promo
Yeah.
performances. And
Star Academy.
Star
Oh,
Academy, GAY. I mean, we got Grammys. We like there was so much promo for that. And then we got the opus of the Confessions on a Dance Floor tour, which,
Yeah.
I mean, it is like nonstop Madonna, like Madonna at her finest. And I think she looks amazing. She sounds amazing. I was just rewatching the Confessions on a Dance Floor tour the other night, and I mean, I, this is something I would never say normally, but like the 1-2 punch of um, what is it? Drowned World, and then Paradise Not For Me. I mean, Madonna
so
singing
good.
so good.
So
Hmm.
She
good.
just sounds so good. And then, I mean, she's moving. Like the dancing that she's doing is so like just from like you go from the music Inferno to You Thrill Me Erotica, like that. It's just so good. So yeah, I think I had to land on Confessions just because if I was going to be stuck, like sure, let me be stuck watching Future Lovers, over and over and over again. Sure, I'd love that. Um, so
That
yeah,
can I so Tony, what that's so interesting, Stefan, that you had all this criteria. Tony, what sort of influenced your decision to pick?
I think it was, like the assignment, Groundhog's Day, and it became like more of I want to revisit the feeling,
yeah,
and just like the same excitement that Stefan and we all had when Confessions came out. And but for me, it was almost like this Madonna and Like a Prayer, the way it unfolded, it was like I said earlier, it's like I was growing up I was grown up and growing up with her, and and I love that feeling of discovery once again, where I'm like, oh, I know her references now. I know what she's trying to say, and yeah, just so much respect and yeah, so I think it was the feeling, the way I felt, and I want to feel that way again for with another Madonna project like that.
Yeah, because I will admit that was another one of my struggles with picking erotica was just that was not it was just not a great time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a great time to be a fan of her because she was at this sort of like cultural zenith, but like
I
I
was
did ask my
terrified in '92. I was
I did
so
ask myself,
scared.
I'm like, I mean, we had just buried my uncle who had died of AIDS, and like I knew
Hmm.
multiple people who were dying. And I just, when I was picking it, I was like, is that really where I would want to be stuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yeah,
but it just,
that's why, like,
but
when
the,
I rewatched the Groundhog Day movie, and like he's going through some really tough stuff in that movie. Like
yeah,
once he
yeah,
realizes he can't get out of it, and it's like, I mean, he goes to the whole point where he tries to kill himself multiple times because
yeah,
he
yeah,
realizes it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But so again, we didn't have rules for this, but I just was sort
yeah,
of
no.
like
But I was
putting
just curious
parameters.
because,
yeah.
yeah, because I landed on the hope, right? Because I remember being almost 19 when all this was happening and just like and you have that youthful hope and just
Mm,
sort of that the artistic fervor of it all and like and I thought to myself, okay, well that's something you want to always hold on to, right? It's like how she's always trying to recapture she's talked about always wanting to recapture the energy of her first album, right? That
yeah,
Hmm.
rawness. And for me it was like, okay, well I always want to keep that spirit of we're going to get through this. Like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, oh my God, we almost need like a national act up for like all the craziness going on. Like,
yeah,
because I think I was texting with all of you when I was watching Becoming Madonna, and
Hmm.
like you get like two-thirds of the way through it when Martin and all of them are passing away and they're showing a lot of footage of Act Up, and I was like, oh my God, nobody would do that. I mean, they do it in other countries and like some of the eco activists do that now, but I just thought, wow, would we do that now? Like, just the world's changed so much and everything is a tweet or a skeet or a post or whatever. And I don't know. I was like, I wanted to really think
yeah,
about the energy, like you said, Tony, kind of
yeah,
vibes, but also the music. Like, I mean, those
Yeah.
four music videos, and I can listen to Waiting 5 times a day and be the happiest
yeah.
camper on earth.
Yeah, I
So
also one thing I just thought of too is like, during that like a prayer time, it was, for lack of a better word, I was a virgin. I was very naive when it came to things about the world like that. And, like a prayer kind of kept me in that bubble a little bit. And then by the time erotica came out, it was like, dude, you're gay and you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was a different, it was like a different page was turned and it was darker, but I was ready for it because, it was the reality of being out in the world and realizing that we weren't protected.
Hmm.
We weren't protected. We had to stand up for ourselves or we would die, you know?
Yeah, no, it was tough to pick because I think, we're so fortunate that we grew up with this
Hmm.
artist, that we endured all of these eras from the start, like that we were here when all of the music premiered and got to see these things first. It's got to be such a very different experience to not have tangible tent poles of life
Yeah.
attached to some of these music. Like if somebody finds her today, yeah, you've got a great catalog to be able to jump in and listen to and experience the videos and see the tours, and like it's great. It's great research, and it's great sort of to be able to be given that gift. But yeah. I mean, I was in eighth grade when Like a Prayer came out. I remember, like, I was at a Christian school. I remember the outrage
Hmm.
that they talked about in chapel that the day the video came out, and the uproar that it was creating in religious institutions. And I remember the outrage of the erotica era, and like anything that she was doing that was creating chaos, it was you were part of it, and you were also part of the wins, and like to be able to see the success of the era like Ray of Light, when suddenly people are championing her and talking good about her. And same thing with
She
like,
won Grammys.
yeah, like Confessions on a Dance Floor, like when all of a sudden people are back on her side again, when they were
Mhm.
counting her out as she's too old, or like it's just been fascinating to be along for the ride. And I think ultimately, to go back to the sort of like what we're saying with like stand up, or like why we wish she would focus on other things, it's like we know she's capable of brilliance.
Yeah.
I think we always want that brilliance, and we've been so creatively starved in terms of new content from her in her music career. I mean, look, Celebration was fantastic creatively and musically, but I think it's like, people are giving me flack because I keep saying, I want the new album. I want the new album. People are like, let her rest. She's been doing this for 40 years. But yeah, I get it. But she's not sitting at home eating bonbons in the
No.
Hamptons. Like, she's avidly working. So if she's working, can she just hurry it up a little bit? Like,
Well,
Yeah, if
good
you're
art
gonna
takes
work,
time.
work. And if you're not, tell people.
but I'm curious to see what a new Madonna era will be, because
Mhm.
again, it's very different now that we're older. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like we're old, but like we're things are different when you're in a different decade and where you're at as people, and to be able
Yeah.
to look back and like think about where we were when Like a Prayer came out, or where we were when, just not even in terms of society, but just
Mhm.
in terms of where we are as people in our own lives. Like Ben's now married, like Tony and I are both single, like we're living in different areas than we were when we were like in New
Yeah.
York. Like New York was such like it was attached to so many of those Madonna eras,
Madonna
and now
moments.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
now it's not, like it's
Well,
just fascinating.
there's also the conundrum of like she wrote this and recorded it presumably after the tour and last year, and then like I mean the world and the environment in which she's going to release it has changed so radically. In what way will the work, because think about American Life and Confessions, right? They came
Mhm.
out back to back, very different albums, both in a response to a certain type of political era. One fared better than the other, but they were both in reaction to that. I mean, she was very clear that, yeah, she was going back to the dance floor, but also she was like, the world is crap and sometimes people just want to feel good. And so it'll be interesting to see if like what she's done with Stewart this time is more we just want to dance and feel good, or is it erotica and it's dance and think about it, because she did experience so much loss and death in her life in the last couple of years, like
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
also resulted in erotica, like all the people that died, and she finally like tapped into that emotion in the songwriting. So
Oh,
who knows?
I mean, again, we're just theorizing, and that's the beauty of the show. I mean, I fully expect there's going to be a song about Christopher,
Oh yeah.
like, about her
Yeah.
relationship with her brother. I can't imagine that there wouldn't. And
Yeah. I would.
maybe it's upbeat and dance, but I still think that that's
Yeah.
it, that it's
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be. I mean, I assume that she'll probably cover something about her near death experience. I mean, there's so much to grapple with and to talk
Yeah.
about.
Well, and it lets her use all her favorite light metaphors.
Mhm.
So,
Tiny
yeah,
particles of light.
yeah. She's gonna wake up from several fuzzy dreams.
Like the one that she's having right behind you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Honestly,
I
Ben,
love this
I love that
photograph.
photo so much,
Oh,
so much, and it
oh.
wasn't. I don't think I realized that it was the not the lace, but what the cut through is from a confessional booth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a confessional booth.
And
Yeah.
it makes me, I just love how it's patterned on her face.
Hmm.
It's
Mhm.
so good. It's so
Those are
good.
the old wood ones that
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
in certain churches that were built in like the 20s, because the church that I grew up in burnt down in 1918 and it was rebuilt by 1920 by my great great grandfather and his siblings. And the confessionals in our that church had that exact same pattern.
I mean, it's just so good. The attention to
Yeah,
detail. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
if for those not looking at home, it's the shot in the sex book where Madonna's laying down and the light is shining through the confessional um,
And
mat
she's
or
kind of got her
where
thumb in her mouth and
yeah,
she's
it's just
pondering
so
being a
it's
bad
so beautiful.
girl.
Like how they, I mean, they did such a good job of like lining up
Oh, the
the venting on the confessional. It's just so good.
yeah.
I love. I wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
Uh,
remember the
yeah.
first time I saw that photo and I thought this is like it's got to be like a childhood memory of Madonna's where she
Oh,
felt safe, you know?
100%. 100%.
like taking a nap in a church or something. Like
Yeah.
she snuck into a
I
booth.
also always imagine she's sitting there like I used to in the confessional. I'm just gonna make some stuff up just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did?
Oh, all the time. I would say the most
What?
horrible
Why
things.
would you make stuff up?
Oh, because it was fun.
So I did that too. It would be my excuse to use bad words. I'd be like, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I said fuck at the mall yesterday.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I
yeah.
called Mrs. Smith a bitch." You know, like I would say all the words, you
Oh
know?
my.
See,
What
I
would the
was worse
priest?
because
What would the
I would
priest
be
talk
like,
to
I
you?
would be like, I
No,
gave
no,
two
because
hand
the
jobs
more
at the mall last week.
well, see, I learned that the more I tried to shock them, the more they would not react.
Oh
Be
yeah,
like,
they're trained not to react. Oh
he's
yeah.
like,
So
he's
they
like,
say nothing in
no,
response.
he's like, my
Oh,
son, I
not
need
a
you to do
word.
Oh, so it's
17
not like
Hail
a therapy
Marys
session.
and
Oh
no,
no, but
no.
one time, I very specifically remember, and I will not say it on this broadcast because it'll get us in trouble with YouTube. But I claimed that I had done something which I did not do until I was in my 20s.
Ah,
Um, and I kid you not, 500 Hail Marys as my penance. Yes, Tony,
that could take
500
a
Hail.
week. That could take a week.
It took me like a couple days.
What you actually
Yeah.
did them.
Oh, I just wanted to see how fast I could do them.
Well, Stefan, if we don't do the prayers, we go to hell. So,
I
Uh,
mean, I was going to hell anyway, but I
isn't that
it
where
on
all my
that one I
friends
was like
are?
challenge accepted.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It's not like writing your name on a chalkboard when you get in trouble. Like that's basically what it is, right? You're just having
Oh,
to
But
my
like,
mother's favorite punishment was to make us write sentences. And then she'd come up with this like 2 line long sentence, and you have to write it like 1,000 times. And then you were finished, she'd tear it up in front of you and throw it in the trash can and walk away. You never
oh,
did what she made you write sentences about again, though.
oh my God.
I loved
Oh,
confession because
Tristan,
we always
I
got
did
we
too.
always got drive-through afterwards, so it was like,
Oh,
okay.
I would always get a beer afterwards. I could go to the basement refrigerator and get a beer.
Tony,
See,
what type of drive-through? Like milkshakes and burgers?
something like that. Yeah, there was so yeah, the
So you'd go out and
church.
celebrate after you
Well,
claimed
no,
your
it was just like a thing. It wasn't anything we ever asked for. It was like my mom would pick up my brother from soccer practice at the church. I would do confession, and this is like before confirmation, you know, before your confirmation time. And yeah, and then she'd just pull into a Whataburger and what do y'all want? So
Oh,
whenever I
too
think about
funny.
confession, I always think about like driving down Memorial Drive and pulling into the, you know.
See, the closest I've
But
ever
yeah,
gotten to confession is Madonna in that picture. So
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I listened
Wow.
to a pop music podcast the other day, and they were doing their top 25 most anticipated albums of the year, and they were calling Madonna's next project Confessions 2.0, which I don't want to do that because
no, well, because I don't think. Look, yes, she might be working with Stewart, but I don't
yeah,
think it will be a retread of what they did on
no,
Confessions on a Dance Floor. In fact, I think
yeah,
just because she's going to like totally subvert our expectations and do
yeah,
something that's not like that. Again, I don't know what it
exactly.
is, and I hope we are surprised. But I also, guys, I just still get worried it's not an album. Like I'm really scared that she's
Oh,
just
she
gonna be like,
said it's going to
here's
be an
here's
album.
no, she said who wants to hear new music. She didn't say who wants to hear an album. And I'm just really scared that like I'm building it up. It's gonna be this whole new era she's just gonna be like, nope, here's one song at the end of the credits of the tour film.
I
But it has
I
to
don't
be.
know.
It has to be. There's too many sessions, right? There's too many
Yes, there
Yeah.
were at
sessions.
least 10 different recording outfits. Come
Yeah.
on now,
And
Stefan.
when her, she's got few contemporaries now. I'm thinking Cher and Kylie. They're coming out with full albums,
Oh my
Madonna.
God. It's like every month Kylie comes out
Yeah.
with something else. I'm like,
Yeah, every
dude,
year Cher's like, "Oh, you want
oh,
another Christmas album?
oh,
Let's
okay.
give you
So,
one."
now, again, I don't like to build up the expectations, even though I do. I mean, I've got nothing else going on in my life,
Yeah,
so of
why
course,
not?
I just hang my head on Madonna expectations. But so, I don't know if you saw, Kylie teased some sort of musical track on her Instagram and didn't say what it was, and people were like, "Is this a new single for maybe Tension 3? Because Kylie's about to, launch her next tour, or is it like a deluxe version of Tension 2? Even though I feel like there already was a deluxe version of
Yeah.
Tension 2, or maybe a super deluxe, who knows? But or maybe it's like a buzz single. Somebody commented, is this a song with Madonna? And that's all I needed to just fly off the rails and travel
Yeah.
down the path of like, and I was just like, that would just be so wonderful if that sort of like kicked off the Madonna Renaissance that we're about to enter into, where it's like
Well,
the song, because you know that they had to talk about it. Like,
and one thing I was thinking about, Madonna, Kylie starts her tour on Saturday. I want to see if there's a Madonna tribute in her show. She's done them before. She did Vogue on her show. Yeah, let's see.
or like
Mm.
we have hypothesized, like, will Madonna show up on the
Yeah,
Kylie tour at some point?
in a video or in person
Hmm.
She'll
or
be
on
in
a
the
track.
audience.
She's got to. She's got to, right? Oh, I hope it's at my show. I'm going to the first New York show oh my
Oh,
God. I hope
lucky
it's at
you.
my
I'm
show.
I'm seeing her in April in San Francisco, but no one comes here.
Oh
So,
my God. I didn't even think about that.
yeah.
Oh, if she shows up at the Saturday show, I will be so pissed I'm at the Friday show.
All right, we're putting this out into the universe. We need a
Oh,
Yeah,
correspondent.
she'll
So,
be she'll be at Kabbalah on Friday
oh,
night.
damn it. Well,
Yeah,
now I'm just
she
gonna have
won't.
to go to the Saturday show.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
anyone listening knows anything about
yeah.
Madonna showing up at Kylie, please drop us an anonymous
Okay,
DM. We
what's
promise
bad
we
is
won't
I didn't
sing.
even know Kylie was going on tour. Oh
Oh
my
Yes.
yeah,
gosh.
it's a big one. It's her first
It's her
full
first like
American.
world tour. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I love Kylie, but I like don't really listen to her music and or follow her. But I
I
love
mean,
like watching
it's
interviews with
yeah.
her.
It's visually fun. Her shows are opulent in sort of like the way that Madonna is.
Okay.
Yeah, her
She's not much of a mover like Madonna,
yeah.
but she still gives presentation.
But the last few Kylie shows that I've seen were heavily inspired by Girly Show, Blonde Ambition, Drowned World. It's all very like it's the same world.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
I she came to New York. Tony, did you go see those when she came to New York? She was at like Hammerstein Ballroom both
Oh
times.
yeah, yeah. I saw her the first time there, and then the second time when she did the Aphrodite, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a smaller scale version of that.
Yeah,
And then
there was no water feature for the Aphrodite
yeah.
version in New York.
And then I saw her at the Bowery Ballroom and she did that one off the day after Pride. I did see her at Pride and that was a big mess. She did like 4 songs. And imagine waiting all day
Uh,
to have her come on and do 9 to 5 and 3 country songs. I'm like,
oh, was that for
no,
Golden? Was
yeah,
that for? Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I didn't. I was glad I didn't
yeah.
wait out for that.
But you got to go to find out. But yeah, let's
Exactly.
go and find out
What's the
what Kylie's going to do this tour.
what's the album that she did with Calvin Harris that was pretty good?
Oh,
X.
X. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
was the last
Look,
time I was.
yeah.
she's. I think
Yeah,
she's got some good stuff.
yeah,
Um. Well, I mean, we could talk about this all night, but we've got to
yeah.
go to
We could, but
bed.
we
So,
probably shouldn't.
Oh yeah,
I'm
it's
Ru-
late for
really
Ben,
y'all. And
late
I,
for
Ben,
work.
Ben, real quick, were there any standout mentions of Groundhog Day loops in the chat that we should call
Actually,
attention
in the
to?
chat, they were shouting out Ray of Light
Hmm.
probably
Yeah.
more than anything, and then and a few erotica shout outs. Several people also said Confessions. A couple people said um like a virgin, but most people in
Mm.
the chat were relive, relive,
I
which
mean,
I
look,
can't blame them.
I mean, in retrospect, I probably should. That's me being stupid for not saying Rebel Heart because that's when I got to dance on stage with her. I mean, technically,
Well, yeah.
if I'm going to repeat any era, it would be the one where I got to dance on stage with her. Like, imagine doing that every night. That,
I know, but the only problem with that is that you get leaked every day too.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I didn't pick Rebel Heart because I was like, well, and also to speak of Rebel Heart, there's a song on Rebel Heart that I think needs to be reproduced to take away a reference of some asshole who's currently in the news cycle, and
Ugh.
also I think we need to reproduce "Beat Goes On" and minus him
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely.
We're not
Scrubbed from
mentioning his name ever again on this podcast, but everything that he's done needs to be erased from her catalog. So,
yeah. And you can take Mike Dean with you too.
yeah. All right. Well,
Humans.
everybody, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can find us on all social platforms at MLVC Podcast. If you'd like to donate to the show, we're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast. Or for our international listeners, you can donate by pressing on the like button on YouTube and donate via Super Thanks. If you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, take that subscribe button so you never miss a video because our next episode is a really great interview. Lips are sealed,
You're
but
not going to want to miss it,
you're gonna
folks.
love it. So
Nope.
coming soon. Watch this space. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Hang tight.
No, it was fun. I always love getting this moment to hang out and talk about Madonna with you guys.
Yeah, it helps.
Especially during these trying times, it's not something we can do
Exactly.
often with too many people, you know?
I
Exactly. I was gonna say,
know.
forget about the bad times. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
just one day out of life. Thank you. Yeah.
All I want to know
Just
is
an
where's the fucking
hour.
potty?
All right, stay there. We're gonna log off the live. Bye everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.